In section 2.3, we're going to learn how to make histograms. And a histogram is really a chart that's made from a frequency distribution table. So we're going to use the data from section 2.2 about the math test scores. So if you haven't seen that pencast, I recommend going back and watching it. And that's where you'll get the data that we're going to be using. So a histogram is a vertical bar graph. So it's going to look something, we're going to have bars, vertical bars. Okay, along the x-axis are the classes from our frequency distribution table. Remember, those were our intervals. And along the y-axis are the frequencies. Now, we might also want to make a relative frequency distribution or a cumulative frequency distribution. So along the y-axis, you could have the relative frequencies or the cumulative frequencies. Now, the big rule about histograms is that there should be no gaps between the vertical bars. Okay, so I'm going to write down our frequency distribution from the previous section. So here's our frequency distribution from section 2.2. So we're going to create an x and a y axis, and we'll label them. So our x-axis are the math test scores, and our y-axis is going to be the frequency. So we always want to start at 0, and then here we can go by tens. Okay, and then for our frequencies, let's go by 2s. Okay, so we can start with the lower boundaries. So we can go from, our first bar would be from 64, which we'll just kind of estimate, up to about, the next one, which would be about 73. Okay, and we're going to make that vertical bar all the way up at 15. So we're just kind of doing this by hand, so we're estimating. Then our next one would go from the 73 up to about 82. And that one's only up at 4. Remember, we want them, no gaps, we want them touching. Our next one goes up to 91. And it's at 3. And then our final one would go up to 100, and it's at 2. So there's our histogram. We're just using the frequency distribution to make a chart. Now, we can also make a relative histogram. So I will put down our relative frequency distribution from section 2.2. So here's our relative frequency distribution. And again, we're going to make x and y axes. And again, along the x-axis, we're going to have the math test scores. And we'll label that just as we did before. And now on the y-axis, we're going to have the relative frequency. So we'll have percentages here going up to 100. So I'll fill those in. Okay, so we have, along the x-axis, we have going from 10 to 100. And then we have our percentages from 10%, well, from 0 to 100%. So again, we're going to go from 64 to about 73, and we're going to go up to, we're just estimating here, but up to about 62%, 62.5%. Then the next one, which is going to go up to 82, is going to be at 16%. And the next one is going to be at about 12.5%. And the last one's at 8.3%. So the shape of this one should look exactly the same as the other one. The shape should be, it starts increasing and it goes down. And then our last type we're going to talk about is the cumulative histogram. So here is our our cumulative frequency distribution. Now here, we need to set it up a little bit differently. So here we're still going to have our test scores, but we can't really list them. We just have to put kind of intervals. We just have to put labels. So we're not going to use this as a scale. We're just going to put labels. So here we put something like less than 73, less than 82, less than 91, and less than 100. Okay, then again, here we'll have our cumulative frequency. So let's go by fives here. So our less than 73, we'll just make a box around this tick mark. It was up at 15. And then still touching, the less than 82 was at 19. The less than 91 was at 22. And the less than 100 was at 24. So for a cumulative frequency distribution, it should always just be increasing, always be going up. Okay, so using the frequency distributions, we can make 3 different types of charts: the histogram, the relative histogram, and the cumulative histogram.